So anyway, we're back at Wembley. Massive crowd, massive fight. Still feels good though, doesn't it?
Feels amazing. Yeah, it's like a big 360 really. You know, going from... We laugh, me and AJ, because sometimes we look back at the sort of original signing press conference in 2013. We looked like we were playing a double snooker match. I mean, we both turned up wearing waistcoats with a white shirt. We didn't even plan it. And we were like kids, really, you know, especially him, because he was, what, 23? You know, I was quite a bit younger, but still a lot older than him. And, you know, we sort of went off on this journey, not really knowing where it was going to go or what it was going to involve, but with a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, and a belief that he could do it. But no one anticipated the ride and the journey that we'd be on. And now it feels very different. You know, we're seasoned. You know, we are businesslike. We're more economic. We're smarter. And this feels, like I said, very different to the Klitschko days and, you know, where it was just like seat your pants stuff. This is like, we've earned this and we're going to make it count and we're going to do the business. That's what it feels like. And, you know, he now feels like some of those other fighters that I work with, Canelo, or ones in the past, Klitschko, you know, he's gained that experience and he's long in the tooth. He's long in the game. And I feel a lot more comfortable now than I did in those days where really we didn't know what we were doing.
And he certainly does now. And this is obviously the launch of Riyadh season, first Riyadh season in the UK. And then you've got Liam Gallagher, maybe Noel Gallagher. So this is a sort of special event, even though you may have been at Wembley before for a big fight, as you say, seat your pants. But this has got some lovely attachments to it.
Yeah, and it's been a long time. You know, we haven't seen anything like this in Britain for a long time. You know, the undercard is spectacular. Obviously, Liam Gallagher, you know, the fight week will be breathtaking. You know, the activities, the venues, and so will the experience for fans on the night, both in the stadium and watching around the world. And, you know, I think that we're very lucky at the moment that we've had this sort of golden run of 1 year of Riyadh season where we're seeing some of the best fights, some of the biggest events, and we're all riding a crest of the wave. You know, the promoters, most importantly, the fighters, the fans as well. And don't forget that, you know, Riyadh season was always expected to be in Riyadh. And His Excellency looked at the response of British fight fans who said, oh, we'd love one of those over here. And it's quite remarkable that they've gone to the efforts and lengths to do one at Wembley. And, you know, it'll be an iconic night.
And for AJ, a bit of history. Walking with giants, a 3-time world heavyweight champion and winning those 3 heavyweight championship belts against active fighters.
Yeah, and always against champions as well. You know, I think that's important to note. I think, you know, this time around, he's in with the young guy. He's in with the guy with not a lack of experience, but lesser experience. And, you know, this is the first time I've really noticed with AJ admittance of a desperation to win. You know, normally it's very calm, and this time it's like, I have to win. I have to win this fight. And he's never talked about the championships, you know, and I've always said, world heavyweight champion, you know, and when he rematched Ruiz, 2-time world heavyweight champion. And now 3-time, you know, it's a list that, you know, you talk about Ali, you're talking about Lennox Lewis. I mean, it's such a thin list. And I think this is the first time where he's probably starting to think about the legacy that victory would give him. And more importantly, how close he would be to the ultimate dream, which is, and has always been, undisputed heavyweight world champion.
You mentioned there, Ed, that you're smarter now, and I agree, that's the word I use when I've been talking to AJ this last 2 or 3 months. I also think he's harder now, and he just seems to be even, if it's possible, even more focused. I'm just wondering how crucial Ben Davison has been in sharpening and shaping the way AJ's thinking and talking at the moment.
Yeah, I think the thing is with AJ, he's a very bright guy. He's not the one that you can just pump him with poor advice or poor strategy in the ring. He has to ingest it and he has to believe in it. And that's what he does with Ben and Lee. It's the first time in a long time he's fully believed in the tactics, the process, the drills. It goes in here, he sees it, and he knows what to do in that ring. And when he's confident of the game plan and the strategy, I think he's as close to unbeatable as you can be. And we all know unbeatable in the heavyweight division is not really a word that you can use. But he is punching like I've never seen him punch before. You know, much harder than his early days, much sharper, you know, with so much more spite, but so much more precision and so much more smartness. And that's where Dubois is going to be really, really, really out of his depth, because this is our fight to win and this is our fight to lose, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, Ed, you've been in some private sessions watching him at Ben's gym. Has it shocked you just how different his attitude is, and just that sort of? I mean, I think it's because he's relaxed and he seems a bit more fearless, but not reckless. That's the key word.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that, having been up in the science of the GB lab for years and then flying out to the big training camp in America, that you'd find your most confidence and your most solace in Harlow in Essex, you know? And I think that's just kind of, that explains life and that explains boxing. You've got to make it simple sometimes, you know? And although it's advanced and the film study and the technical side that Ben and Lee put in place is second to none, it's very simple in terms of the messaging. It's very simple in terms of inputting that data. AJ's always been sometimes overcomplicating things by always searching for something. Now he's searching for nothing. He turns up, he does as he's told, he does his work, he listens to those guys, they drill it, they drill it, they drill it, they drill it. And the game plan for Wallin, the game plan for Ngannou, perfect. The game plan for Dubois, I say it's easy. Well, it's easy to set. It's not always as easy to deliver, but it's straightforward, right? And he knows exactly what he has to do. You know, they just asked him the question in there in an interview that I was in. You know, points, knockout, you know, any means necessary, AJ. No. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know, you know, and basically this fight ain't going the distance.
Ed, AJ is the favourite, but Dubois is also a changed man. I'm not saying he's as calm and relaxed and smart and punching as powerfully as AJ, but he's a different man in the last 10, 12 months himself.
For sure. You know, I think, like people will search for criticism for AJ, you know, Wallin and Ngannou were the opponents. Dubois' opponents of Miller and Hrgovic are probably better on the CV. But you can also debate that, you know, Miller came in at an all-time high, didn't have long preparation, faded in the fight after looking like he was going to go on and stop Dubois. And Hrgovic, you know, had a virus and didn't look like he really had anything in him that night. I prefer to look at, you know, give the credit to Daniel Dubois. And people keep searching for ways to give him a chance in this fight. He's got a chance in this fight. This is a very tough, dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua. This is not a foregone conclusion. You know, Dubois is in the form of his life. He's probably in the confidence of his life, but he's going to have to box at a whole nother level this time around than he has done in his last two outings. And he's going to get hit like he's never been hit before. But he's dangerous. He's a young man with a very good work rate, with a good jab, good punch variety, but he makes a huge amount of mistakes. And I promise you, if he makes mistakes in there, AJ will punish him every single time. And it's how much punishment you can take. I do believe Dubois has a good chin. Because if you look at the stoppages, he just quit. It wasn't like he was out on his feet and couldn't stand up. He just didn't fancy it anymore. And that's, I don't blame him. But that's not in everybody. And I don't look at this fight and think, you know, we're not relying on Dubois' heart in this fight. Oh, he's quit in the past. Will he quit this time? We're not intending to make him quit. AJ's intending to make him go to sleep. And you don't even have to have a heart in that situation. It's just lights out. So, but I do believe he has more about him. than he did against Joyce and he did against Usyk. And AJ and Ben and everybody have taken this fight extremely seriously. You win this fight, in my opinion, you are the biggest star in boxing. You knock this kid out, all the momentum's with you. You're one fight away from being the undisputed heavyweight world champion. And if AJ knocks Dubois out early, he'll be a big favourite against Tyson Fury. And even with the 2 defeats against Usyk, the extra miles on the clock, the confidence of AJ, you know, everything changes. You get beat, you're searching for the rematch, you're searching for that other fight, but that's what's at play on Saturday night. You know, that gap between victory and defeat and the World Heavyweight Championship. But, you know, this is arguably the biggest fight of his career. And I know how special it is for him to be doing this back at Wembley. And I think when he walks out there on Saturday night and everything comes flooding back, you know, the Klitschko fight, the Parker fight, the Millennium Stadium, the Povetkin fight at Wembley, I think it'll be a warm feeling inside. And I think it will give him the spring in his step to make sure he finishes the job.
And that's a good enough reason for people to tune in and watch it.
This is one of the great heavyweight fights. You know, 2 great British heavyweights fighting for the world heavyweight title. Speed, power, heart, storyline. It's got absolutely everything in front of a record-breaking crowd at the National Stadium. And I've said to His Excellency, come 9, 10 p.m. on Saturday, I want you to have a little look around, because I forgot to do it at Joshua Klitschko, at Froch Groves, you know, and I have to watch it back and think, why didn't you take advantage of it at that moment and just suck it all in? Because you're in the moment. And I said to him, make sure you realise how special this is. This is going to blow your mind on Saturday night.